Hi guitar lover, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I want to inform you about my learning process of an arrangement for the song Somebody That I Used to Know by Gotye. This fingerstyle arrangement is interesting because it combines lots of fingerstyle techniques, which makes it a very challenging arrangement to play, but very great if you want to progress as a fingerstyle guitarist. And I thought, well, maybe it's interesting if I tell you a little bit about this arrangement, the techniques within it, and how I am practicing it. The song starts with a very recognizable bass line, and that's this bass line. The A and then the G. And that's because the verse of this arrangement is played over an A minor, G major, A major, A minor, and G major, and that's continuing, so alternating between the A minor and the G major. And that's of course also what you see in the bass line. The first technique included is to create a little staccato effect to get the bass line a little bit more in line with the original song, and that's done by palm muting, and then it sounds like this. And it's already sounding a little bit different. What I've chosen to do is to make it a little bit more easy, because with all the techniques combined, playing this palm mute effect by first let the bass note ring out a little bit and then mute it is more difficult than completely mute it. So I've chosen, for the sake of simplicity, to fully mute it and to get a full compressed bass sound. Also very cool. So not something to be sad about when you choose to make it a little bit more easy. Then it sounds like this. And it sounds like a compressed bass. And the palm mute effect is created by laying the palm of your hand on top of the, in this case, the E and the A string. So only those are muted, and the rest of the strings are sounding open, and that's because, of course, this arrangement also have a little bit further on a melody on top of the bass line. The second technique which is included is a slap effect, which recreates or tries to recreate the snare effect of the drum in the original song. And it's on the second and the fourth beat. Combined with the bass line, it then becomes like this. And so forth. But the thing I'm practicing when just playing this small piece is to focus on getting the thumb slapping effect as quiet as possible, to really get it as subtle as I can play it. Play it so soft without losing the effect at all. Sometimes I play it so soft that you can't hear it anymore. So finding the right amount of force. And the thumb slap, because I have still muted the bass line with the palm of my hand. Then the slap effect is done by rotating the wrist and a little bit of motion with only the thumb. So it really trains the independence of your thumb when you are only training this part. And I used to have the tendency to play the thumb slap really loud, and I thought it was overpowering the bass line and the melody line. Sometimes I used to play it like this. Or even this. And especially when I record, it's not sounding as I want to. A little bit too much volume in the slap. Okay, that was the second technique. But of course, in a fingerstyle arrangement, you do not only play the bass line, you also want to play the melody line. And there it becomes even more interesting because a third technique is included, and it's called flicking. When you have to play a slap in combination with a melody note, it becomes quite interesting because it's impossible to have a thumb slap and at the same time pluck a string where the melody note is on. Perhaps you are the exception and you can demonstrate me how you do it, but I find it quite impossible. So what you have to do instead is use the technique flicking. What is flicking? Flicking means the extending of the finger you want to use for the vibrating, to get the string vibrated. And during the extension, you want to touch the supposed string. And that is difficult for me for two reasons. One is volume and the second one is precision. The flicking requires a lot of precision and perhaps even with the motion, it's difficult to get the same volume compared to pulling or picking, however you want to call it. So it requires a lot of attention to hear if the melody notes which are flicked have the same volume as the melody notes which are pulled. And that's something you have to get used to and really practice. The second difficult thing is precision, because I have the tendency to also touch slightly other strings, and therefore the melody line isn't sounding as clean as it's supposed to be, because other notes are also in the background sounding alongside the melody note. So that makes it quite challenging. Okay, the melody, let me demonstrate it. It starts with these two notes. And this is also a great exercise on its own, just this little part. Because then when you play just this little part, you can really concentrate on those two elements I discussed: precision, volume. That's I think that way you get the most out of your practice time. If you really were concentrated on what I was doing, you perhaps heard that I also used some palm muting again, because I want, even in the melody line, the staccato effect. When I let them ring out, it sounds like this. And I want... and it's another element of difficulty. So all combined, it becomes rather challenging for me. with the bass line, the compression, the slap effect, which I want very subtle and even in volume, with the flicking, which is challenging, and then also with an extra mute effect on the melody line. It's a lot to pay attention to and to get in your fingers. Okay, let me now play the parts I've learned so far, just a couple of bars, to give you an idea of the starting of this arrangement. And for me, this is already enough to practice right now, and perhaps even too difficult to really master in the shortest amount of time. And this is something even taking years or months or years to really get the hang of it. Okay, let me demonstrate it. So difficult. And I also have the habit of practicing too fast. You should really practice it very slowly. Okay, yeah, this was the little part I wanted to demonstrate. I hope you found it interesting. It's a great arrangement to practice. And if I would give advice to myself, I would say practice slowly. Also practice the different techniques separated, so you only have to concentrate on one element, and that doesn't mean that you can't play this arrangement. But when I play it very slowly, I could decide this couple of rounds where I played the couple of bars I've learned, I want to concentrate on the slap, or now I want to concentrate on the flick. That's normally how I learn the fingerstyle arrangement I want to play. Okay, till so far, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye!